Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Leaders Podium powered by Shifts. And today we have a very, very special guest joining us. Today we have Mr. Ashish Kumar joining us. Ashish, thank you so much for becoming a part of my podcast and sharing about your journey with us. And I'm sure our listeners will benefit a lot seeing your experience. Just a bit of background about Ashish. Ashish is a second generation businessman into the hotel and the restaurant line. Ashish runs a very, very successful chain of Indian restaurants called Khidmat, operating out of New Delhi and NCR regions. He has been serving some amazing, amazing food since last 32 years. So yes, he has been in the industry for long. And I think Ashish, if not, Ashish, this I can say, knowing you personally, if you would have not been in the food business, you would have probably been in the PR business or in the nightlife business, because I don't think I have seen
Hmm.
anybody doing a better PR than you do. And I think probably an alternate career would also be something to do with fitness, because you balance running a restaurant, Indian food, that also, and maintaining a very, very good physique also. So yeah, so I think
Hmm.
that's Ashish for you guys. Ashish, welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for joining in today.
Thank you so much, Rachit. Thank you. It's my pleasure to have you. I am on this podcast with you, and I'm really excited for this podcast. And good to see you after, as we are friends too, and good to see you after very long. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks, Ashish. Thanks. So yeah, Ashish, the first things first.
Yeah.
How come after like when you decided to do something professionally, how come
Hmm.
restaurant line was your calling? So, you could have gone into anything else, back then. How come you decided, okay, this is the line which I want to pursue?
Rachit, I think so. It all started when I was quite young, and I was doing my schooling. I've grown up uh, looking at my father as he's one of a celebrity chef, and always seen him, with all those amazing hotel environment, and I used to be very excited. So that is the time when it all made me think of getting into the same line, and that's how I thought, ki, why don't I get into the same industry like him? So
Yeah.
that's how my interest developed, and my journey started with I did my IHM. I did my first year from IHM Pusa, Bhopal. My center was
Wow.
Bhopal, and that's how my journey started, especially
Wow.
for restaurant industry. Yeah,
Interesting. So you have been professionally trained, or you have acquired professional knowledge in this line. It's not just
knowledge.
one day
Absolutely,
you started.
absolutely.
One day you said, okay, from today I'm going to start sitting in the restaurant. So it's interesting to know that, okay,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
professionally
yeah.
trained and you
Absolutely.
acquired professional knowledge. Ashish,
Yeah,
just from a perspective, right? Um,
yeah.
how important is it to be professionally trained in this line of work, versus just coming and sitting and running your own restaurant? Do you think your education, what you learned professionally, has played a very vital role?
Absolutely, Rachit. It is very, very important because a lot of people who enter in this industry without any background knowledge about this line, uh, they have to go through a lot. They have to suffer a lot because there are a lot of uh, detailing needed in this restaurant business. Day
Hmm.
to day challenges are there, and you need to have that knowledge, the basic knowledge to understand. Till the time you don't study that, you don't go through that, or maybe practically or physically you have worked with some of the restaurants or hotels, you can't understand that. So it's not
Absolutely.
easy. It's not easy. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. So, Ashish, moving to my next question, I wanted to ask you, as we all see that now the food industry is so crowded, so cluttered. We have so many restaurants, opening up, and you have been in the business for a long, long time. 32 years is no joke, right? Uh,
Hmm.
what have you done which is making your brand of restaurant so unique, in a cuisine which goes back so long, and I think it's a cuisine which everybody loves, and there has been so much innovation about it and everything, which is Indian cuisine. So what are those unique things or things which makes Khidmat your restaurant apart from anybody else?
Yeah, Rachit, that's a very good question you've asked. And see, every restaurant has a USP,
Yeah.
and especially when you talk about food, uh, so we have to start everything fresh from day to day.
Hmm.
It's not something that you just open up the restaurant and everything is done. You have to start from scratch. So the first thing which we always take in mind is that the vegetables,
Mhm.
especially uh, vegetables. So we make up our this is a very important factor that we try to get vegetables direct, like it's like a farm to table. It's
Okay.
like directly from farmers, so that we keep on the good quality and the freshness of the vegetable. And then I think so. Seasonal and innovative menus helps us a lot
Hmm.
because every season has different type of vegetables where it gives us a lot of chances to come up with new dishes and all.
Huh.
And then uh, I think so a beautiful ambience,
Yeah.
especially an inviting ambience
Hmm.
where people come and have this experience of good fine dining with good food.
Hmm.
That is very, very important. And the most important another factor which comes up is the personalized service for
Actually,
the
that's a
guest.
very, very important thing. You are absolutely right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's I think a
So
key differentiator now.
we keep in mind that every client which comes in the restaurant, especially Khidmat, he gets a dedicated server
Hmm.
who takes care of him and from everything, from his allergies, from what he likes, what he doesn't like, everything. And then I think so. Community engagement is very important.
Huh.
So that helps us to build strong relationship with our patrons and give back to the community that really support us. So that's how we we
Wow.
we have these important factors made in. Yeah.
Interesting. So, very interesting point you brought about is the freshness of the ingredients. I think that's the starting point, and I think that really reflects on how you have been, running this particular show. Ashish, you have been in business. I think you have been in the business for over, like, apart from the brand Khidmat, you have been in this line for, I think, about 20 plus years or so now.
Now 24 years, 24 years. Yes.
24 years. So you have seen a lot of changes
Yeah.
happening in this industry and everything. And Ashish, my next question is about is I'll divide it into two ways, right? I
Hmm.
think back then when we were all growing up, right? Indian food for us, and I think I always swear by your butter chicken and your dal makhni, what you make. I think back then, जब हम सब बड़े हो रहे थे, जब हम छोटे बच्चे होते थे, इंडियन खाने का मतलब था बटर चिकन, दाल एंड नान। ठीक है, उससे ऊपर
Hmm.
कुछ नहीं होता था,
Hmm.
उसके ऊपर कुछ भी अगर आ जाए, दैट वाज अ चेरी ऑन ऑन केक।
Yeah.
अब
Yeah. Yeah.
अब आई सी, एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई वांटेड टू आस्क यू नाउ, द टेस्ट बड्स ऑफ द यंगस्टर्स हैव इवॉल्व्ड अ लॉट।
Absolutely.
They want different things in the Indian cuisines also. Plus, यार हमारे टाइम पे ना हम सब खाते थे, enjoy करते थे, मस्त रहते थे. Now, as you mentioned, allergies have come in, dietary restrictions have come in, lifestyle have come in. A lot of people are vegan, a lot of people are
Hmm.
keto. But yes, they all crave for good food and everything. How do you,
Yeah.
when you plan your menu, when you plan your cuisines, how do you
Huh.
accommodate all these things, that a it is catering to the changing palates of the youngsters, it's reaching out to a lot of large audience, because we as family, when we go, my kids want something else, we want something else. The common thing still is the common thing, like butter chicken is still the most
Yeah.
heavy
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
common thing, but
Yeah.
uske
Yeah.
आसपास इतनी चीजें evolve हो गई हैं, how different types of kebabs have come in, different types of breads have come in and everything. How do you take care of the changing palates? How do you take care of what's happening globally while planning your menus, and also the dietary restrictions and the lifestyle restrictions around that?
Hmm. Yeah. So, Rachit, you're absolutely right. I think so. When we were very young and small, and
Hmm.
I think so for us, Indian food used to always be butter chicken and dal and
Yeah.
pudina parantha. So, I can totally relate to it. And the biggest challenges now, especially for us, is that uh, the whole industry is evolving. You're right, but I feel that the youngsters they are now focused on calories.
Hmm.
That if they have to eat anything,
Hmm.
they always count the calories.
Yeah.
So as per FSSAI rules, also now every menu has to show the calorie
Oh.
for that for that dish.
Hmm.
So we have started doing that. So we have properly redone the whole menu with measurement and weight and everything, and then the calories, everything. So customer gets to know that exactly how much of calories he's intaking on every bite of his food.
Wow.
So one thing is that, and
That's going
so
to
there are a
ruin
lot
my butter chicken experience altogether, man. Butter chicken
of
with butter naan, you don't count calories.
calories. Absolutely, you're right. But then that's how it is. But I
Yeah.
feel the
Hmm.
customer feedback has really changed a lot, because so we always have this concept where we start with a dummy menu. It's like
Okay.
a few dishes
Hmm.
which we try to make, and we put it on the today's special, and every month there is a different today's version, and that's how
Oh,
we get to know about customers, that what they like and what they don't like. And
that's a very
when
interesting
the
thing.
yeah so when the today's special, especially if two or three dishes are hits on, and
Yeah.
people really like it, that's how we again redo the menu. So we put those items back in the regular menu. So that's how we keep changing the whole year, because that's how customer doesn't, there's a problem here that customer gets bored,
Hmm.
especially coming to the same restaurant and eating that same comes, we need to give him something new. So that's
Yeah.
how we do it. And then I think so. I before also I told you the seasonal and local focus is very important. We
Yeah.
design our menu around the seasons, which I mentioned before also, and it helps us a lot. Then understanding our brand identity, that is very important,
Wow.
because focusing on fresh and locally sourced ingredients is very important, because to maintain that taste and quality you
Hmm.
need to do that. So dietary aspect is also very important now, because health issues are very
Yeah.
much in
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So people are going towards vegan and everything. So we ensure our menu caters to variety of dietary needs and preferences, including vegetarian and vegan, gluten free, and other special. And the inclusivity reflects our brand's commitment. So
Hmm.
these are few factors we always keep in mind, and uh, that's how we keep on our foot
Wow.
on the changing patterns. Yeah,
It is so amazing to hear these words, Ashish, that you are using this word so nicely. Brand identity, brand concept, like you are so passionate about the brand which you hold. And I think in this conversation, I think we have had multiple conversations in the past, but it's amazing to see that how this brand is coming out from your mouth again and again, and it's really inspiring to see that how you have made it a big brand now of 32 years. And what are the small steps which you have taken at the back end to make sure that's what's related to the customers also. So Ashish,
yeah, yeah.
running such large operations, and I know that you're into catering also. A restaurant is in itself a very challenging, because people are now very demanding. They customers needs have changed. The workers needs have changed. There's a lot of change which has happened regulatory also, as you mentioned, that you now need to write the calories and everything. I'm sure as a business owner, there are hundreds of things which are going on in a day. So, Ashish, what are the top two, three, or four challenges which you find regularly coming up in your line of work, and how do you tackle them?
Uh, Rachit, yeah, absolutely, you're right. Because daily, I told you that restaurant business is a very tricky business.
Yeah,
From far, it looks very glamorous, but believe me, when you get into it, it's a very tricky business.
it is. I'm
You have
sure.
to you have to take care of all the corners. So I think so. The first important point is maintaining the consistency, especially the quality.
Mm-hmm.
That is very important, because ensuring that every dish meets our high standards
Yeah.
of quality can be challenging, especially during busy periods. So consistent training and rigorous quality control are very essential. So this is very important,
Mm.
especially to ensure the maintain the quality.
Yeah.
And then I think so staff management.
Mm.
Staff management is very important because right type of hiring is very important, and retaining skilled staff is very important because skilled staff uh, is a constant challenge because they day to day because of
Absolutely.
so
And
many
and that I'm
so
so
many
glad you said
restaurants
that
opening.
because that's why we are here for. We as a brand, that's why we are
Yeah,
here. I'm glad that you said that. Yeah.
that's why
So
shifts.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I think challenge
and
staff is a big challenge. Yeah.
big challenge. And uh, then inventory management is another uh, you know important part of it. Then customer satisfaction is another part of it. Cost control is very important.
Hmm.
Cost control is another very important factor for restaurant business because managing food costs, labor costs, and other operational expenses while maintaining profitability can be difficult. Can be difficult, and this requires careful budgeting, regular financial reviews. So ये सारी चीजें बहुत जरूरी है because you know believe me that time has changed now because at one point, so I'll tell you very honest as a restaurant owner that a customer when he enters the restaurant he looks at the price
Okay.
and and he compares it with the last visit and
Yeah.
then he says यार ये तो रेट बढ़ा हुआ लग रहा है यार ये कुछ
Acha.
बढ़ रहा है तो back of the mind he doesn't understand that overall around us everything is
Has become more expensive.
increasing day by day.
Yeah.
The prices are going up. You take it from petrol, diesel to vegetables to raw material, grocery, everything. So this is another challenge we have because customer doesn't understand that he wants कि भाई ये क्या रेट कैसे बढ़
हाँ,
गए
मतलब
या ये
सीरियसली कि
कैसे हो
मैं
गया
अभी साल भर पहले आता है, 6 महीने पहले आता है, ये रेट था, अब ये हो गया. बट
ये रेट था
बट दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग द सेम क्वालिटी ऑफ फूड, दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग द सेम क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विस. लेबर भी महंगी हो गई है, लोग महंगे हो गए, सब्जियां महंगी हो गई हैं, रॉ मटेरियल्स महंगे हो रहे हैं, रेंटल्स ज्यादा
बिल्कुल
महंगे हो रहे हैं. बट यस, दैट्स अ चैलेंज.
yeah and then I think so marketing and promotion
हम्म.
is another factor because continuously attracting new customers or while आपके पुराने regular customers, the
रिटेन हो.
social media engagement, promotional activities,
हम्म.
all this is very important and these challenges requires a proactive and well coordinated approach. So that's how we
Ashish,
deal with it.
knowing
Yeah.
you, I think marketing is the easiest thing to for you. I don't think, as I mentioned in my introduction, I don't think anybody can do better PR. In fact, I think other restaurants should hire you professionally to do their PR and marketing. On the side, that's
that
what you should launch also. So I think marketing
that
and PR should be out of your worry list. You should launch it as a service in your part time. You should do marketing and PR for companies because I think I genuinely
that's a
say
big compliment
no, no,
coming from you. It's a big
I genuinely
compliment.
say because in relationship building, because that's what business is about. And I think you are one of the finest people I've met when it comes to relationship building and relationship nurturing also. So talking about relations, Ashish, and you also
Yeah.
mentioned about customer experience, customer satisfaction, changing needs of customers, all
Hmm.
comes with relation building, and it all comes with a lot of expectations. You also mentioned giving personalized service when you have a butler who knows the customer
Yeah.
choices, customer preferences, and everything. And obviously, being in this business for so long, there is people might be taking your restaurant as a second home. That's a default choice of going there. How do you maintain an exceptional customer service? And that too, being in the business from so long and always improving the service. How do you manage that? Because it's such a dynamic thing. It's such a changing thing. पहले क्या होता था, options were less. जो मिल रहा है वो अच्छा है. Now even the customers have evolved so much.
Hmm.
They are so widely traveled. They are going to Michelin star restaurants. They are expecting the best of the things. Even with the smallest of mistake, as you mentioned, social media, they can take up on social media and really ruin a company's reputation. How, as an owner or as an operator of a restaurant, how do you ensure customer service, Ashish? And how do you ensure that everybody in the chain whether it's your manager, whether it's your server, or whether it's your, the person who is making the guest sit, everybody in the kitchen staff, they are tuned to that kind of a customer service.
Yeah, absolutely, Rachit. That's a very, very nice question you have asked. And I was just hearing you, and I went back to my first class of hotel management, where our teacher started with this line called Atithi Devo Bhava.
Yeah.
So it's like ki, yeah, your client is like a god,
Hmm.
and so that is a very, very important factor for any restaurant because a warm welcome is very important when a customer enters the restaurant.
Hmm.
So we ensure that he feel welcomed and valued.
Hmm.
Our host greet them with a smile and promptly seat them and setting a positive tone of their dining experience. So this is very important because I always tell my staff also that uh, a client enters the restaurant and asks for you by your name
Hmm.
is something that's how you connect bond with each
True.
other.
Very true. Very true.
So that's how because when he enters any I'm not talking about a khidmat only. I'm talking about any restaurant. When he enters, he has that relationship with that service boy
Yeah.
where he needs that guy to service him. So
Hmm.
that's a bond I always tell my staff to create with the customer because he feels at home when he
Absolutely.
comes to that environment,
Yeah.
and he feels very important that he
Important.
you
I
know
was
you
about to
you
say that.
yeah
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah he feels
Very
very
true.
important. And then I mentioned before also that personalized service. So we train our staff to pay close attention to guest needs and preferences. This includes like remembering regular customers,
Hmm.
favorite dishes,
Hmm.
and dietary restrictions. When a customer enters the restaurant with his family and the service boy knows or the captain knows everything about in and out
Hmm.
him, he feels very obliged and he feels that yeah, I'm getting that VIP treatment.
Absolutely.
So this attracts a lot. Then I think so attentive and knowledgeable staff is very
Yeah.
important. That
Yeah.
they should have proper knowledge about the menu, including ingredients and preparation methods. They can make informed recommendation to the customer what he needs and what he's asking for. So this builds up a big bond between the customer because एग्जैक्टली कई बार ऐसे होता है कि कस्टमर आता है और कई आजकल के टाइम पे तो बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है दैट कस्टमर आता है अपने बच्चों के लिए आस्क फॉर बटर चिकन बट अपने लिए ही वांट समथिंग तंदूरी विच हैज
हाँ.
लेस बटर लेस
हाँ.
क्रीम
हाँ.
लेस ऑयल and how we can fulfill his need
Yeah.
that he goes satisfied with a good quality of snack which doesn't includes this fat or oil or nothing. So that's how we train. And then I think so consistent quality. We maintain high standards for food quality and presentation. Our chefs use fresh high quality products. There's no compromise on especially the daily important cream or butter or oil. So we give the best. We use the best. And then I think so efficient operations is must because streamlining every operation and includes efficient kitchen workflows, timely, accurate service for uh, waiter staff.
Yeah.
So these are very important. And then hygiene, clean and inviting environment. That is very important
Very true.
to maintain
Very
that
true.
hygiene because clean tables, comfortable regular cleaning schedules, and then a proper uniform, a good smell, so prompt issue resolutions. These all factors are very important for the
Beautifully put,
restaurant. Yeah.
Ashish. And I think one of the most, going back when you were talking, I was just, recalling a recent experience which I had. And you interestingly brought about a very nice point about waiters being well trained and well informed about the menu. Just, I think about last week, early last week, I was at a fine dine restaurant, so-called fine dine restaurant. And I asked the server there, could you tell me the difference between these two dishes? And because they, by description, they seemed very similar, and I asked them what's the difference, because I wanted to have a really good meal, and I was like, "Yeah, I should be very sure on what I am ordering." And the only thing he could tell me was, "This is brown gravy and this is white gravy." I said, I wanted something more than just a color combination of the food which I'm getting. And I was like,
Absolutely.
you are working in a very fine dine restaurant. You don't know the basic,
Hmm.
and you need to ultimately call the chef to answer such a basic thing. And I was like, I was not upset, or I was not this thing. I was rather saying I was feeling sorry for the guy, the server, because he
Hmm.
was not well trained. The management did not take the time or the effort to make him try the different dishes. He did not understand the palate. I was looking at much other things which I was wanting to have a picture in my mind कि वो डिश कैसी होगी, बट वो खाली कलर पे ही
That's
रह गया
how.
बिकॉज
That's how.
उस बेचारे को ट्रेन नहीं
That's
किया था
how.
वैसे.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
और इस
Yeah.
एक्सपीरियंस में मेरा क्या हुआ कि आई लॉस्ट द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑन द रेस्टोरेंट because the server is the face of the restaurant. So I genuinely lost. But yeah, very interesting point, Ashish. Which Yeah. So Ashish, interesting. A lot of actually for me, because I have personally been to your restaurants. A lot of times I've eaten the food a lot of times, but I didn't know right, the intricacies and the nuances which goes in every meal, and to make it so perfect every time. It's like such a well-oiled machinery, which comes. And as you rightly said, right, for even for me, when I'm going with my family or even with my friends, I think the biggest wow factor for me is if I am able to see my familiar waiter. He is able to come and acknowledge me, and he knows, what I want, how I want, what is the pace of my food, when do I want my starters, when do I want my course to come, how do I. So I think, yeah, and I think
Hmm.
a large part of it is about training and retraining and everything you do. So talking about customers' expectations, Ashish, and moving forward from there, I think customers also teach us a lot, both good or bad. And while we all
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
hear all good things and positive things always from the customer, as a business, and as a business owner, how do you take negative feedbacks, and how do you make sure that, because the entire chain of your
Hmm.
restaurant workers is able to absorb a negative comment well.
Hmm.
Because if, for example, a dish goes back, because everybody has a different palate, right? If a dish goes back to the chef and they say, yeah, this is not well made, how do you make sure that the chef is taking it in the right way and not taking it to his ego, or the service staff is not taking a slow service comment to their egos, but yes, are being cooperative. So how do you make sure that the entire system is tuned to accept negative comments as well?
Yeah. Uh, Rachit, I think so. Before I start telling you exactly, I feel that uh, the people who are listening to this podcast, they should know that Indian food is something which needs a lot of human involvement.
Mm-hmm.
And now the trend has changed to robotics and AI, where you just put the dish name and everything is prepared by a robot. But when we talk about here in India, in Indian cuisines, this is very important that when a chef is cooking, so two things we make sure that one is that the food should be prepared by heart.
True, very true.
It should connect with the heart. We always, if you remember, हम छोटे होते थे,
हाँ
हमेशा ये बात सुनते थे कि माँ के हाथ का खाना nobody
हाँ
can beat
हाँ
that.
हाँ,
उसका रीजन ये
बिल्कुल.
होता है कि माँ makes
दिल
the
से
food
बनाती
with
है.
her heart, दिल से बनाती है. The
हाँ.
same thing I teach my chefs कि खाना जो बनाओ दिल से बनाओ, क्योंकि जो चीज दिल से बनेगी
हाँ.
तो उसके अंदर टेस्ट ही आएगा, उसमें कुछ खराबी नहीं निकलेगी.
वाओ.
और जब जब चीज आप सोच के करोगे, इट्स अ काम,
हाँ.
काम करोगे,
हाँ.
तो उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी.
हम्म.
And then I feel that I listen carefully to my customers' complaint.
हम्म.
I understand their perspective fully,
हम्म.
uh, and I think so. I address the issue very effectively.
अच्छा.
This is This is my first thing, which
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
really want that. And then apologizing sincerely is very important, because till the time we acknowledging the issue shows that we take their feedback seriously. That's how a customer understands.
So basically
कि यार
showing
इसने मेरी
empathy
चीज को
towards what they are, rather than saying कि तेरे को पता नहीं
absolutely,
है, या this is how we do it.
yeah, absolutely. From
True.
the moment we hear the negative complaint, we start, you know, we take that feedback very seriously. Immediately resolution, वो बहुत important है
हाँ,
for a customer satisfaction.
बिल्कुल.
If you delay it, it can lead to a lot of problems.
Yes.
So we address the issue on the spot. Uh, that can involve a lot of things, like replacing the dish, offering a complimentary item, or providing a discount. Immediate action demonstrates बहुत commitment और customer satisfaction, ये चीजों के साथ मिलती है, because you know customer understands कि यार ये लोग मेरी complaint को seriously ले रहे हैं.
हाँ.
And I feel that it helps us to learn a lot, and it helps us to uh, uh, you know any corner which we feel, it can be service or hygiene or food. So we understand that and go deeply and clear that complaint. And I think so following up for issues that cannot be resolved immediately, so we follow up with the
Yeah.
customers, inform them of the steps we are taking. So these things, then analyzing the feedback, training and improving. We try to train and improve the staff so that they don't redo that or reoccur complaint now. Then documenting is very important.
Very true.
We always
Very true.
document our complaints, because it helps us, uh, if that uh, issue reoccurs, so it helps us to go back and कि क्या किया था हमने, कैसे clear किया था.
Impressive.
So it helps us to, and so handling feedback thoughtfully, proactively, is very important. Yeah, I
Impressive,
feel that. Yeah,
impressive, impressive.
yeah,
I don't think,
yeah,
Ashish, people have that kind of business owners that have that kind of a clarity. Because a lot of, and as a customer, I feel very disrespected if my feedback is not taken in the right manner. Because
absolutely.
I am not expecting, as a customer, personally speaking, a lot of times I'm not expecting a discount. I'm not expecting, but all I'm expecting is an acknowledgement, and that okay, your perspective is welcome. And as you said, following up, Ashish, I'll tell you a story, and that made me, that just changed my perspective. I was at a restaurant.
Hmm,
Uh,
hmm,
sorry. So I was at a restaurant, and we were. I don't remember what the exact issue was back then, because I'm talking about some 5 6 years back, before pandemic and everything. It was at a fine dine restaurant we had gone to. I think we had ordered some dish which was not right, or something which has happened, and I think as soon as we complained, the management took
hmm,
it very seriously.
hmm,
They spoke to us very nicely. The
hmm.
senior manager came out, the head chef came out, and they were not defending themselves. I really like that they were not defending themselves. They were just apologetic.
Hmm.
They also gave me a discount, which I said I am not expecting. They gave me a free dish, like a complimentary dessert and everything, which again I was not expecting. But yes, they coming out, they apologizing, accepting my feedback or my viewpoint was very important. And then follow up. I went home after half an hour. I Because they note down your address and all that when you complain. After half an hour, I somebody at my door, and it was a bouquet and a cake. Sorry, from the management of so and so. And
It
40%
it
or a
gets
50% discount card for the next day. I was
it
anyways.
makes a big impact. It makes a
Ashish,
big
that's
impact.
the
Yeah,
reason we are talking about it today, right? Just
yeah,
them saying sorry at the time of the incident was big enough for me to come back again to the restaurant, right? But they doing just a small gesture is what's making me talk about it again and again. I always quote that's what something which, because it's a, as you said, it's a human business, right? Mistakes can
yeah, yeah.
happen, goof ups can happen all the time. But
Absolutely,
I think it's how you
absolutely.
are covering it. And one other very important thing which you mentioned, is documenting what's going wrong. I think that is, I think, fabulous, and that's the reason why you guys have successfully crossed 32 years in this business.
Yeah,
It's no joke, Ashish. To cover
absolutely.
that. So talking about this interesting journey of 32 years, Ashish, wanted to ask you, how do you keep updating yourselves about the latest trends which are happening globally, within India, within the Indian cuisine, and how do you keep adapting it into your businesses? Trends can be as small as a music trend. Now, for example, when we were growing up, when we used to go to Indian restaurants, Indian restaurants meant a player and somebody on a harmonium and a
Hmm.
live singer. But that is all gone now, right? Probably the
Yeah,
cuisine
yeah,
is still the same, but the ambiences have changed. The ways of
yeah.
serving foods have changed. A lot of things have changed. So by change, I don't only mean the cuisine, but a lot of ambience change, what customers want, how are they being served, how do you keep, a track of all that and what's happening in the future? How do you make yourselves prepared to that? Customers' choice, customers' preferences. How do you go about all this? Yeah.
Yeah, Rachit, time has changed, and
Yeah.
you're right. At that time, live singing, tabla, and everything was, it was like a ghazal night, and you used to go with
Yeah.
your parents and
Absolutely.
have that. Yeah, that the time has really changed a lot, and I think so. You need to keep innovating in your business. So we have incorporated a lot of new things, like we do live live singing is happening on every
Yeah.
Sundays. So we have this live singer who sings as per your choice, as
Wow.
per the customer choice. And then secondly, uh, I feel that when you explore, I'm a big foodie, so I
Hmm.
try to explore new places, and that's how I keep myself updated with what's going on new, and especially sometimes in a year when you go for a vacation abroad, you pick up a lot of points from there. So especially London is one of my favorite city, and
Hmm.
I love to go there, and I try to every time I go there, I take 2 or 3 tips from them, especially the restaurants, what they are doing there,
Wow.
and I start,
So Ashish, just say,
doing that
like,
same thing here.
sorry, I just wanted to
Yeah,
bring in something like you were saying when you go on vacations. तो एक मूवी का
yeah,
डायलॉग था ना कि a soldier is never off duty, a restaurateur is also never off duty, even in vacations
absolutely,
you're never thinking about.
absolutely,
Amazing, man.
absolutely, and I've learned all this. As you know, I'm blessed to have uh, a person in my own family, my
Yeah,
father, who's a celebrity chef, which helps us to keep on changing. He always has a trend of updating us with all the latest
yeah,
going on in the industry. So that really helps us. And then exploring restaurants around you, and then especially you told me that my PR is good, so that's how I meet people. I understand what they are in need or what they talk about generally
yeah.
when they go out for their restaurant experience, and that's how I try to put it in my regular business. So that you know, I always tell that a customer or a client never comes for ambience. He will never come back for the ambience. He will
I
always come back for the.
200% agree to this. I think
He will
ambience
always
will
come back
pull you for the first time. Food is what
first
will
time.
bring you always again.
Food and service is two things which go hand by hand, and that's how the customer will come back. And he will come back. It doesn't matter distance, or it doesn't matter that how much price he's paying for that dish. But yes, he will come back for that quality and that service. Definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely. So much, brother, taking all the time. I know you have a very, very busy schedule, running such a large establishment. Thank you so much for taking all the time and joining me today. And
Thank you,
it was
Rachit.
so
Thank you.
wonderful to hear about all the things which goes up to make a brand of 32 years. I would say not even a brand now; it's a legacy. 32 years in the business
Absolutely.
now it's a legacy. And how beautifully you have clearly thought about every small nuances, right from the fresh ingredients to noting down what the customers want, to making sure that the complaints are registered so that you can go back. I think all these things are fabulous, and I think it's glad that you spoke about it because a lot of these things go unnoticed. Um, and I'm sure
Absolutely.
when this podcast is out, people who are going to listen to it, people are going to watch it. I think everybody's wanting to go to try your food and especially your butter chicken, and I think they will learn a lot from you as an entrepreneur, that how you are running this entire show. So Ashish, it was wonderful having you on today's podcast, and I think I personally learned a lot, and I'm sure my audience would have too. Thank you so much, Ashish. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rachit. Thank you. Bye bye.